Unit 2, Describing the capabilities of Microsoft Entra. By the end of this unit, you should be able to differentiate the function and identity types of Microsoft Entra ID. Explain the authentication capabilities of Microsoft Entra ID. Articulate the access management capabilities of Microsoft Entra ID, and differentiate the identity protection and governance capabilities of Microsoft Entra. Lesson 1, Differentiating the functions and identity types of Microsoft Entra ID. Introduction. When it comes to security, your organization can no longer rely on its network boundary. To allow employees, partners, and customers to collaborate securely, organizations need to shift to an approach whereby identity becomes the new security perimeter. Using an identity provider helps organizations manage that shift and all the aspects of identity security. In this module, you'll learn about Microsoft Entra ID, Microsoft's cloud-based identity and access management service. You'll also learn about the identity types supported and how you can use Microsoft Entra ID to support external users. Topic 1, Microsoft Entra ID. This topic introduces Microsoft Entra ID, formerly Azure Active Directory, a cloud-based identity and access management service. It helps organizations securely manage user identities, control access to resources, and enable single sign-on across applications. Describing Microsoft Entra ID. To enable secure collaboration, organizations must treat identity as the new security perimeter. Using an identity provider supports this shift and strengthens identity security. Microsoft Entra ID, formerly Azure Active Directory, is Microsoft's cloud-based identity and access management service. Organizations use Microsoft Entra ID to enable their employees, guests, and others to sign in and access the resources they need, including internal resources or apps on your corporate network and intranet, and cloud apps developed by your own organization. External services are services such as Microsoft Office 365, the Azure portal, and any SaaS applications used by your organization. Microsoft Entra ID streamlines access and authorization by offering a unified identity system for both cloud and on-premises apps. It can sync with existing directories or run independently. It also enables secure use of personal devices and collaboration with partners and customers. Microsoft Entra ID's Identity Secure Score shows how well your security setup aligns with Microsoft's best practices, with tailored recommendations based on your configuration. Identity Secure Score in Microsoft Entra ID helps you assess, improve, and track your identity security posture. Significant terminology. When talking about Microsoft Entra ID, there's some basic terminology that is important to understand. Tenant. A Microsoft Entra tenant is a unique instance of Microsoft Entra ID that stores an organization's users, groups, devices, and app registrations. It includes access and compliance policies, has a unique tenant ID and domain, example contoso.onmicrosoft.com, and acts as a security and admin boundary for managing resources and services. Directory. Microsoft Entra directory and tenant are often used interchangeably. The directory is a logical container within a tenant that organizes identity and access resources like users, groups, apps, and devices. It acts like a catalog of identities tied to the organization. Each Microsoft Entra tenant has one directory. Multi-tenant. A multi-tenant organization uses more than one Microsoft Entra ID tenant. This setup is common in companies with independent subsidiaries, mergers or acquisitions, or operations across regions with different data regulations. Who uses Microsoft Entra ID? Microsoft Entra ID lets IT admins manage access to corporate apps and resources based on business needs. It supports features like multi-factor authentication and offers tools to protect user identities and meet access governance requirements. Developers use Microsoft Entra ID to add standards-based single sign-on, SSO, to apps, enabling users to sign in with existing credentials. It also offers APIs for building personalized experiences using organizational data. Subscribers to Azure, Microsoft 365, or Dynamics 365 automatically get access to Microsoft Entra ID, with included services and the option to upgrade to premium licenses for enhanced features. Topic 2, Types of Identities. This topic explores the different identity types used in cloud environments, including user identities, service principals, managed identities, and device identities. Understanding these types is essential for managing access and securing resources effectively. Types of identities. Microsoft Entra ID supports various types of identities. These identities are typically categorized into 3 groups based on how users are assigned within the system. Human identities. User identities in Microsoft Entra ID refer to people, such as employees, internal users, and external users like customers, consultants, vendors, and partners. Workload identities. You can assign identities to software-based objects, such as applications, virtual machines, services, and containers. These identities are referred to as workload identities. Device identities. You can assign identities to physical devices, such as mobile phones, desktop computers, and IoT devices. User authentication in Microsoft Entra ID depends on whether the user is internal or external to the host organization's tenant. Internal users authenticate using an account within the host's Entra ID, while external users sign in via another organization's Entra account, a social identity, or another external provider. The user type property defines a user's relationship to the host organization's Microsoft Entra tenant either as a member or a guest. By default, guests have fewer privileges in the directory compared to members. How the user authenticates, user type property. Internal members are typically employees who authenticate using their organization's Microsoft Entra ID. Their user object in the resource directory has a user type set to member. External members are users from another tenant within the same organization who need member-level access. For example, Contoso users access Fabricam resources using their Contoso credentials but are assigned a user type of member in Fabricam's Entra directory. Internal guests are distributors, suppliers, or vendors given Microsoft Entra accounts within the organization but marked as guest for limited access. This legacy setup is now often replaced by B2B collaboration, where users authenticate with their own credentials via their external identity provider. External guests, such as consultants, vendors, and partners, authenticate using an external Entra account or identity provider. Their user object in the host directory is set to guest, granting limited access. Workload identities. A workload identity is assigned to software so it can securely authenticate and access services and resources. Securing workload identities is crucial because they often use multiple credentials that must be stored safely. Unlike human users, they're harder to monitor and revoke, increasing the risk of breaches. Microsoft Entra Workload ID helps resolve these issues when securing workload identities. In Microsoft Entra, workload identities are applications, service principals, and managed identities. Applications and service principals. A service principal is an identity for an application in Microsoft Entra ID. To enable authentication and access, the app must be registered, creating a service principal in each tenant where it's used. This allows the app to authenticate and access secured resources. Applications and service principals. To let service principals access secured resources, developers must manage their credentials securely. Failure to do so can create vulnerabilities. Managed identities reduce this risk by handling credentials automatically. Managed identities. Managed identities are service principals automatically managed by Microsoft Entra ID, removing the need for developers to handle credentials. They allow applications to securely access Azure resources at no extra cost. There are 2 types of managed identities, system-assigned and user-assigned. System-assigned. Some Azure resources, like virtual machines, Support system-assigned managed identities that are automatically created in Microsoft Entra and tied to the resource's life cycle. When the resource is deleted, its identity is removed, too ideal for workloads running on a single resource. User-assigned. User-assigned managed identities are standalone Azure resources that can be shared across multiple services, like VMS. They're managed separately, so deleting a resource doesn't remove the identity. This is useful when multiple resources need the same permissions but are frequently replaced. Device. A device is a piece of hardware, such as mobile devices, laptops, servers, or printers. A device identity gives administrators information they can use when making access or configuration decisions. Device identities can be set up in different ways in Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra registered devices support BYOD and mobile scenarios, allowing users to access organizational resources from personal devices without needing to sign in with an organizational account. A Microsoft Entra joined device is a device joined to Microsoft Entra ID through an organizational account, which is then used to sign in to the device. Microsoft Entra joined devices are generally owned by the organization. Microsoft Entra hybrid joined devices connect to both on-premises Active Directory and Entra ID, allowing users to sign in with their organizational account. This benefits organizations with existing AD setups. Registering or joining devices to Microsoft Entra ID enables single sign-on, SSO, to cloud resources, and Entra joined devices also get SSO access to on-premises ad-based apps and resources. IT admins can use tools like Microsoft Intune, a cloud-based service that focuses on mobile device management, MDM, and mobile application management, MAM, to control how an organization's devices are used. Groups. In Microsoft Entra ID, groups let you assign access to multiple identities with similar needs, simplifying permissions management. This supports the zero trust principle of limiting access to only those who need it. There are two group types. Security. A security group is commonly used to manage access to shared resources, policies like self-service password reset, or conditional access, example MFA. Members can include users, devices, groups, and service principals. Only Microsoft Entra admins can create them. Microsoft 365. A Microsoft 365 group, also called a distribution group, is used for collaboration, giving users access to shared mailboxes, calendars, files, and SharePoint sites. Only users can be members, including external ones, and anyone can create a group, no admin role needed. Groups can be configured to allow members to be assigned, that is manually selected, or they can be configured for dynamic membership. Dynamic membership uses rules to automatically add and remove identities. Topic 3, Hybrid Identity. This topic explains hybrid identity solutions that integrate on-premises identity systems with cloud-based services. It enables seamless user experiences and centralized identity management across both environments, often using tools like Azure AD Connect. While many organizations are rapidly shifting to the cloud, most still operate a mix of on-premises and cloud applications. Regardless of where apps are hosted, users expect seamless access, making a unified identity across platforms essential. Microsoft's identity solutions span on-premises and cloud-based capabilities. These solutions create a common identity for authentication and authorization to all resources, regardless of location. We call this hybrid identity. Hybrid identity is accomplished through provisioning and synchronization. Interdirectory provisioning is provisioning an identity between two different directory services systems. For a hybrid environment, the most common scenario for interdirectory provisioning is when a user already in Active Directory is provisioned into Microsoft Entra ID. Synchronization is responsible for making sure identity information for your on-premises users and groups is matching the cloud. Microsoft Entra Cloud Sync. It enables interdirectory provisioning and synchronization. It supports hybrid identity goals by syncing users, groups, and contacts to Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra Cloud Sync. It uses a cloud provisioning agent to bridge Microsoft Entra ID and Active Directory. The agent is lightweight and deployable in on-premises or IaaS-hosted environments. Provisioning configuration is stored and managed within Microsoft Entra ID. The Microsoft Entra Cloud Sync provisioning agent uses the System for Cross-Domain Identity Management (SCIM) specification with Microsoft Entra ID to provision and deprovision users and groups. The SCIM specification is a standard that is used to automate the exchanging of user or group identity information between identity domains such as Microsoft Entra ID and is becoming the de facto standard for provisioning. Lesson 2, Explaining Authentication Capabilities of Microsoft Entra ID. Introduction. Authentication is the process of verifying an identity to be legitimate. Passwords are commonly used to authenticate users, but there are better and more secure ways to authenticate. In this module, you'll learn about the authentication capabilities of Microsoft Entra ID, multi-factor authentication, and how it improves security. You'll also find out about the password protection and management capabilities of Microsoft Entra ID. Describe authentication methods. A key role of an identity platform is to verify user credentials during sign-in. Microsoft Entra ID supports multiple ways to authenticate users. Passwords are common but risky, especially when used alone. Easy passwords are unsafe, strong ones are hard to remember. This can hurt security and productivity. Microsoft Entra ID offers safer options to use instead of or with passwords. The use of passwords should be supplemented or replaced with more secure authentication methods available in Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID supports two options for phone-based authentication. SMS-based authentication. SMS sign-in lets users access apps by entering their phone number and a code sent via text, no password needed. SMS can also be used as a second step in authentication, like during password reset or multi-factor sign-in. In both cases, users enter a verification code from a text message to confirm their identity. Voice call verification. Voice calls can be used as a second step in authentication, like during password reset or multi-factor sign-in. Users receive an automated call and press hashtag to verify their identity. Voice calls aren't supported as a primary sign-in method in Microsoft Entra ID. Software auth tokens are apps that generate one-time passcodes. Microsoft Entra ID provides a secret key used by the app to create each code. OTP is an open standard for generating time-based, one-time passcodes. These codes can be used for user authentication. They're generated using either software apps or hardware tokens. Both software and hardware tokens are only supported as secondary forms of authentication in Microsoft Entra ID, to verify an identity during self-service password reset, SSPR, or Microsoft Entra multi-factor authentication. Many organizations aim to eliminate passwords for sign-in. Passwordless methods like biometrics, Windows Hello, or FIDO2 keys are more secure and harder to hack. Microsoft Entra ID supports these methods to improve security and simplify sign-in. Authentication Methods Part 2. Windows Hello for Business replaces passwords with strong two-factor authentication. It uses a device-linked key plus a PIN or biometrics to verify identity. The private key signs data, which is verified by the identity provider. It protects against credential theft since both the device and user input are required. It can be used as a primary or secondary authentication method. FIDO is an open standard for passwordless sign-in using external or built-in security keys. FIDO2, supported by Microsoft Entra ID, adds WebAuthn for secure, phishing-resistant authentication. Security keys, USB, Bluetooth, or NFC, replace passwords, boosting account protection. Users can sign into Entra ID, Windows 10 devices, and supported browsers with single sign-on. Ideal for security-sensitive environments or users without mobile access. FIDO2 can be used as a primary or secondary authentication method. Microsoft Authenticator is a passwordless sign-in method for Microsoft Entra accounts. It works as a primary or secondary authentication option. Users download the app, iOS/Android, register, and sign in by matching a number and confirming with a PIN or biometrics. It turns a phone into a secure login tool, no password needed. When used as a secondary authentication, Microsoft Authenticator sends a push notification to the user's device. The user taps approve or deny to verify the sign-in. It can also generate an oath code for extra security during password reset or multi-factor authentication. After entering username and password, the user inputs the code from the app to complete sign-in. Authentication Methods Part 3. Microsoft Entra Certificate-Based Authentication, CBA, allows or requires users to sign into apps and browsers using X.509 certificates. CBA is supported only as a primary passwordless authentication method. X.509 certificates, part of Public Key Infrastructure, PKI, are digitally signed documents that link an identity to its public key. Some authentication methods work as a primary sign-in factor, while others are used only as a secondary factor during Microsoft Entra Multi-Factor Authentication or SSPR. Each method's role is explained in its description, and the table below summarizes when each method applies during sign-in. Microsoft Entra Authentication Method. Windows Hello for Business, typoed as Windows Hello for Business in the image, supports primary authentication, and its secondary authentication is MFA, provided users are enabled for FIDO2. Microsoft Authenticator supports primary authentication, and its secondary authentication includes both MFA and SSPR. FIDO2 Security Key supports primary authentication, and its secondary authentication is MFA. Certificate-based authentication supports primary authentication, but does not support secondary authentication. Oath hardware tokens, preview, does not support primary authentication, but its secondary authentication includes MFA and SSPR. Oath software tokens does not support primary authentication, but its secondary authentication includes MFA and SSPR. SMS supports primary authentication, and its secondary authentication includes MFA and SSPR. Voice call does not support primary authentication, but its secondary authentication includes MFA and SSPR. Password supports primary authentication, but does not support secondary authentication. Topic 2, Multi-Factor Authentication, MFA. This topic explains how MFA enhances security by requiring two or more verification factors such as something you know, password, something you have, device, or something you are, biometric. It significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access due to compromised credentials. Multi-factor authentication, MFA. It greatly enhances security by requiring something hard for attackers to steal or copy. MFA remains simple for users while protecting accounts more effectively. Multi-factor authentication, MFA. It adds a second layer of identity verification, like a phone code or fingerprint. Microsoft Entra Multi-Factor Authentication works by requiring something you know. It is typically a password or PIN. Something you have. It is a trusted device that's not easily duplicated, like a phone or hardware key. Something you are. It is biometrics like a fingerprint or face scan. Microsoft Entra ID includes multi-factor authentication, MFA, in the sign-in process automatically, no app changes needed. Users get an MFA prompt and choose from their registered verification methods. Admins can require specific methods, or users can manage them via My Account. Supported MFA methods include voice call, SMS, FIDO2 security key, Oath hardware token, preview, Oath software token, Microsoft Authenticator app, Windows Hello for Business, security defaults and multi-factor authentication. Security defaults are basic identity protection settings recommended by Microsoft and enforced automatically when enabled. They provide essential security at no extra cost, ideal for organizations using the free Microsoft Entra ID tier. Key features include requiring MFA registration for all users. Enforcing MFA for admins. Prompting MFA when needed for all users. Security defaults may not be appropriate for organizations with Microsoft Entra ID P1 or P2 licenses or more complex security requirements. Topic 3, Password Protection and Management Capabilities. This topic focuses on best practices and tools for managing passwords securely. It includes strategies like enforcing complexity requirements, using password vaults, and implementing policies to prevent reuse and detect breaches, helping organizations safeguard user credentials. Password Protection and Management Capabilities. Microsoft Entra ID Password Protection. It helps reduce the risk of weak passwords. It detects and blocks known weak passwords and their variants. It applies a default global banned password list to all users in the tenant. It also allows organizations to define a custom banned password list for specific weak terms. It enforces strong passwords during password changes or resets. For better security, use multi-factor authentication in addition to password protection. Global banned password list. This is automatically updated and enforced by Microsoft. It is maintained by the Microsoft Entra ID protection team using security telemetry data. Blocks known weak passwords like $$W0RD, PASU0RD1, and their variations. Variations are generated using algorithms that transpose case and substitute characters, example 1 to L. List is applied to all users in a Microsoft Entra tenant and cannot be disabled. Users trying weak passwords receive a notification to choose a stronger one. If a Microsoft Entra user sets a weak password, they get a notification to choose a stronger one. The global banned list is based on real-world password spray attacks. This enhances overall security and effectiveness. The password validation algorithm uses fuzzy matching to detect similar weak patterns. Microsoft Entra blocks millions of common weak passwords across the enterprise. Custom banned password list. Admins can create custom banned password lists for specific business security needs. These lists block passwords like the organization name, location, or other company-specific terms. Brand names. Product names. Headquarters or locations. Internal terms. Company-specific abbreviations. The custom list is combined with the global banned password list to block all variations. This feature requires a Microsoft Entra ID P1 or P2 license. Protecting against password spray. Microsoft Entra Password Protection defends against password spray attacks. These attacks try a few known weak passwords across many accounts to avoid detection. Entra blocks all weak passwords likely used in such attacks. Protection is based on real-world security telemetry data from Microsoft Entra ID. This data helps build the global banned password list. Hybrid security. Microsoft Entra Password Protection can be integrated with on-premises Active Directory for hybrid security. An on-premises component receives the global banned password list and custom policies from Microsoft Entra ID. Domain controllers apply these policies during password changes. Ensures password protection is enforced wherever users change passwords. Even with strong passwords, use multi-factor authentication for better security. Passwords alone are not as secure as multiple layers of protection. Lesson 3, Articulating Access Management Capabilities of Microsoft Entra ID. Introduction. The security perimeter has shifted away from organizational boundaries to user, device, and service identities. In this module, you'll learn how Microsoft Entra ID uses intelligent access management capabilities to protect organizational assets. This module describes how conditional access helps organizations improve security. It also describes the purpose of Microsoft Entra roles and role-based access control, and how they're used to control access to Microsoft Entra resources. Topic 1, Conditional Access. This topic introduces conditional access as a policy-based approach to securing access to resources. It allows organizations to enforce access decisions based on conditions such as user location, device compliance, or risk level, helping balance security with user productivity. Conditional access. Conditional access in Microsoft Entra ID adds an extra layer of security before granting access. It uses policies that evaluate signals like user, location, device, application, and risk. These signals help automate access decisions to protect apps and data. Conditional access policies are simple if-then rules. Example, if a user is in a specific group, then they must use multi-factor authentication to sign in. Conditional access is enforced after first-factor authentication. It's not designed as a defense against DOS attacks, but can use signals from such events to help decide. A conditional access policy in Microsoft Entra ID consists of two components, assignments and access controls. Assignments. In a conditional access policy, assignments define the who, what, where, and when. Admins choose which signals to evaluate. All assignments are logically and every condition must be met to trigger the policy. Some of the assignments include users. User assignment defines who is included or excluded from the policy. It can target all users, specific users/groups, directory roles, external guests, and workload identities. Target resources. Target resources for conditional access include cloud apps, Microsoft apps like Office 365, Azure API, admin portals, and Entra-registered apps. User actions, policies based on actions like registering security info or joining devices. User actions, policies based on actions like registering security info or joining devices. Authentication context, adds extra security for app data/actions, example requiring managed devices or terms of use for accessing SharePoint content. Network. Network conditions control access based on a user's network or physical location. You can include any location, trusted network/IP ranges, or named locations. Also supports compliant networks, those meeting your organization's security policies. Conditions. Conditions specify where and when a conditional access policy applies. Multiple conditions can be combined for fine-grained, specific policies. Conditions in conditional access include sign-in risk. Likelihood a sign-in isn't by the identity owner. User risk. Probability an account is compromised, based on Microsoft Entra ID protection. Insider risk. Uses Microsoft Purview signals tied to data governance and compliance. Device platform. Based on the device's operating system. Client apps. Includes browsers, mobile apps, and desktop clients. Filters for devices. Targets policies to specific devices, like privileged access workstations. Access control. After a conditional access policy is applied, the system makes an access control decision. Block access. Grant access. Grant with extra verification. Apply session control for limited access. This defines how the policy is enforced. Admins can grant access with or without extra controls. Grant controls may include multi-factor authentication. Specific authentication methods. Device compliance requirements. Password change. These controls enhance security when access is granted. For a complete list, refer to Grant controls in conditional access policy. Session controls in conditional access allow limited experiences in cloud apps. Example, app control, via Microsoft Defender for cloud apps, can block download, cut, copy, print, or require file labeling for sensitive documents. Other controls include O. Sign-in frequency. O. App enforced restrictions based on device state to allow limited or full access. O. For a complete list, refer session controls in conditional access policy. In summary, the assignments portion controls the who, what, and where of the conditional access policy, while the access controls portion controls how a policy is enforced. Describe Microsoft Entra roles and role-based access control, RBAC. O. Microsoft Entra roles manage permissions for Entra resources, like creating user accounts or viewing billing info. O. Microsoft Entra ID supports both built-in and custom roles. O. This is part of role-based access control, RBAC, known as Microsoft Entra RBAC, which controls access through assigned roles. Built-in roles. Microsoft Entra ID includes many built-in roles, which are roles with a fixed set of permissions. Most common built-in roles in Microsoft Entra ID. Global Administrator. Users with this role have access to all administrative features in Microsoft Entra. The person who signs up for the Microsoft Entra tenant automatically becomes a global administrator. User Administrator. Users with this role can create and manage all aspects of users and groups. This role also includes the ability to manage support tickets and monitor service health. Billing Administrator. Users with this role make purchases, manage subscriptions, and support tickets, and monitor service health. All built-in roles are pre-configured bundles of permissions designed for specific tasks. The fixed set of permissions included in the built-in roles can't be modified. Custom roles. O. Custom roles in Microsoft Entra offer flexible access control beyond built-in roles. O. A custom role definition is a set of permissions selected from the same list used by built-in roles. O. Granting access with custom roles involves two steps. 1. Create a role definition with chosen permissions. 2. Assign the role to users or groups at a specific scope. O. Scope defines what resources the role applies to organization-wide or specific objects, example a single app. O. Custom roles require a Microsoft Entra ID P1 or P2 license. O. Follow the least privilege principle, give users only the access needed to do their job. For example, assign the user administrator role, not global administrator, if they mainly manage users. O. This limits potential damage from a compromised account. Categories of Microsoft Entra roles. O. Microsoft Entra ID is included in any Microsoft Online Business subscription, like Microsoft 365 and Azure. O. Microsoft 365 services include Exchange, SharePoint, Teams, Intune, Defender, and more. Some services, example Exchange, Intune, have their own RBAC systems, others, example Teams, SharePoint, rely on Microsoft Entra roles. O. To simplify identity management, Microsoft Entra ID provides service-specific built-in roles for administrative access. O. These built-in roles vary by where they can be used across services. 3 broad categories of Microsoft Entra built-in roles. Microsoft Entra specific roles. O. Some Microsoft Entra roles manage Entra-only resources, such as O. User Administrator. O. Application Administrator. O. Groups Administrator. O. These roles grant permissions specifically within Microsoft Entra ID. Service-specific roles. O. Microsoft Entra ID includes built-in, service-specific roles for major Microsoft 365 services. O. Examples include Exchange Administrator, Intune Administrator, SharePoint Administrator, and Teams Administrator, each with permissions to manage their respective services. Cross-service roles. O. Some Microsoft Entra roles span multiple services. O. For example, O. Security Administrator, grants access across Microsoft 365 security services. O. Compliance Administrator, manages settings in Microsoft 365 Compliance Center, Exchange, and more. Difference between Microsoft Entra RBAC and Azure RBAC. Left circle. Microsoft Entra RBAC uses built-in and custom roles to control access to Entra resources such as users, groups, and applications. Center, Overlap. Both follow the RBAC model, but manage different types of resources. Right circle. Azure RBAC controls access to Azure resources such as virtual machines or storage using Azure Resource Management. Lesson 4, Differentiating Identity Protection and Governance Capabilities of Microsoft Entra. Introduction. Identity governance is about balancing identity security with user productivity in a way that can be justified and audited. Identity protection is about protecting an organization's identities against risk and potential vulnerabilities. Microsoft Entra ID provides many identity protection and governance capabilities that work together to mitigate risk by protecting, monitoring, and auditing access to critical assets while ensuring employee and business partner productivity. Topic 1, Microsoft Entra ID Governance. This topic introduces the tools and policies within Microsoft Entra ID that help organizations manage identity lifecycle, access rights, and compliance. It ensures that the right people have the right access to the right resources at the right time. Describing Microsoft Entra ID Governance. Microsoft Entra ID Governance. It helps balance security and productivity by automating access, delegating control, and improving visibility. It ensures the right people have the right access as roles change. It enables organizations to govern the identity lifecycle. Govern the access lifecycle. Secure privileged access for administration. These capabilities apply to employees, partners, and vendors across on-premises and cloud environments. It addresses 4 key questions. 1. Which users should have access to which resources? 2. What are those users doing with that access? 3. Are there effective organizational controls for managing access? 4. Can auditors verify that the controls are working? Identity lifecycle. Managing the identity lifecycle is central to identity governance. Organizations often follow a join, move, leave model, creating identities when users join, adjusting access as they move roles, and removing access when they leave, keeping records for audits. For many organizations, the identity lifecycle is linked to HR systems like Workday or SuccessFactors, which provide authoritative employee data. Automating identity creation from HR signals ensures employees are productive from day one. Microsoft Entra ID Governance supports this through inbound provisioning from HR to maintain identities in Entra ID and Active Directory. Lifecycle workflows for automating tasks at key events, joining, moving, leaving. Automatic assignment policies in entitlement management to adjust access based on user attributes. User provisioning to manage accounts across cloud and on-premises apps. Managing identity lifecycle means keeping user access up to date via HR integration or provisioning tools. Access lifecycle. Access lifecycle manages user access throughout their time in an organization. As roles change, users require different access levels. Organizations must manage access beyond initial provisioning of a user's identity. Enterprise organizations need scalable processes to enforce access policies and controls. Microsoft Entra ID Governance allows IT to define access rights and necessary enforcement checks across resources. Organizations must manage access beyond initial provisioning of a user's identity. Enterprise organizations need scalable processes to enforce access policies and controls. Microsoft Entra ID Governance allows IT to define access rights and necessary enforcement checks across resources. Dynamic groups automate access using attribute-based rules, updating group membership as user or device attributes change. Entitlement management defines how users request access to group memberships, app roles, and SharePoint Online roles, with separation of duties enforcement. Access reviews in Microsoft Entra support recurring recertification of user access. Monitoring privileged access is essential in identity governance to prevent misuse by employees, vendors, or contractors with administrative rights. Microsoft Entra Privileged Identity Management, PIM, adds controls to secure access across Microsoft Entra ID, Azure, and other Microsoft Online services. PIM helps minimize the number of users with privileged access and provides governance controls to protect company resources. Topic 2. Access Reviews. This topic explains how access reviews help maintain security and compliance by regularly evaluating user access to resources. It enables organizations to verify that only authorized users retain access, reducing the risk of over-permissioned accounts. Microsoft Entra Access Reviews help manage group memberships, enterprise app access, and role assignments, ensuring only the right people retain access. Excessive access rights pose a security risk, especially as users change roles or responsibilities. Microsoft Entra ID supports collaboration with internal and external users, enabling group joins, guest invites, and remote access from various devices, highlighting the need for strong access management. There are many use cases in which access reviews should be used. Here are just a few examples. Confirm if group owners still need guests in their groups. If a group gives guests access to business-sensitive content, then it's the group owner's responsibility to confirm the guests still have a legitimate business need for access. To maintain policies exception list. Sometimes there are business cases that require you to make exceptions to policies. As the IT admin, you can manage this task and provide auditors with proof that these exceptions are reviewed regularly. Too many users in privileged roles. It's a good idea to check how many users have administrative access and if there are any invited guests or partners that haven't been removed after being assigned to do an administrative task. You can recertify the role assignment of users in Microsoft Entra roles or Azure Resources roles in the Microsoft Entra Privileged Identity Management (PIM) experience. Business Critical Data Access. For certain resources, such as business-critical applications, it might be required as part of compliance processes to ask people to regularly reconfirm and give a justification on why they need continued access. Have reviews recur periodically. You can set up recurring access reviews of users at set frequencies such as weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. Reviewers are notified at the start of each review and upon completion approve or deny access through a friendly user interface and with the help of smart recommendations. Manage user and guest user access with access reviews. Access reviews ensure users and guests have appropriate access. Users or decision makers can recertify access based on suggestions from Microsoft Entra ID. After the review, access can be removed from users who no longer need it. Admins can track review progress and stop it early if needed. Once complete, changes can be manually or auto-applied, except for dynamic groups or on-premises groups, which require direct updates. Multi-stage access reviews. Microsoft Entra Access Reviews support up to 3 review stages with different types of reviewers. Multi-stage reviews enable complex workflows for recertification and audit requirements, requiring sequential attestation. This approach helps resource owners and auditors by reducing the number of decisions each reviewer must make. Topic 3. Microsoft Entra Privileged Identity Management. This topic covers how PIM helps manage, control, and monitor access to important resources in Microsoft Entra ID. It provides just-in-time privileged access, approval workflows, and auditing to reduce the risk of excessive or unnecessary permissions. Describing the capabilities of Privileged Identity Management. Privileged Identity Management, PIM. PIM in Microsoft Entra ID helps manage, control, and monitor access to key resources in Microsoft Entra, Azure, and services like Microsoft 365 and Intune. PIM reduces risks from excessive, unnecessary, or misused access by requiring justification and enforcing multi-factor authentication. PIM features include just-in-time, providing privileged access only when needed, and not before. Time-bound, by assigning start and end dates that indicate when a user can access resources. Approval-based, requiring specific approval to activate privileges. Visible, sending notifications when privileged roles are activated. Auditable, allowing a full access history to be downloaded. Why use PIM? PIM reduces the risk of malicious access by limiting the number of users with access to secure information or resources. It uses time-limited access to lower the chance of accidental impact by authorized users. PIM also provides oversight of how users use their administrator privileges. What can you do with PIM? You can use it with Microsoft Entra roles. Directory roles include built-in and custom roles for managing Microsoft Entra ID and Microsoft 365 services. Azure roles use role-based access control, RBAC, to manage access to management groups, subscriptions, resource groups, and resources. PIM for Groups enables just-in-time membership and ownership, governing access to Microsoft Entra roles, Azure roles, Azure SQL, Azure Key Vault, Intune, application roles, and third-party apps. General workflow. There are a few steps that are generally part of a basic workflow when deploying PIM. Assign. Activate. Approve/deny. Extend/renew. Assign. The assignment process begins by assigning roles to users, groups, service principals, or managed identities to grant resource access. Each assignment includes members or owners, individuals assigned to the role. Scope, limits the role to specific resources. Assignment type. Eligible, requires activation or approval. Active, grants immediate privileges without action. Duration, defined by start/end dates or set as permanent. Activate. If users are eligible for a role, they must activate it before use. During activation, they select a duration, within the admin-defined maximum, and provide a reason for the request. Approve or deny. Delegated approvers get email alerts for pending role requests. In PIM, they can view, approve, or deny them. Once approved, the member can use the role. Extend and renew. When a role assignment nears expiration, users can request an extension in PIM. If already expired, they can request a renewal through Privileged Identity Management. Audit. Use PIM audit history to view all role assignments and activations from the past 30 days for all privileged roles. Describing Microsoft Entra ID protection. Microsoft Entra ID protection. It detects, investigates, and remediates identity-based risks. It covers both user identities and workload identities. Risks can be used in conditional access for access decisions or can be sent to a SIEM tool for further investigation and correlation. Detect risks. Microsoft analyzes trillions of signals daily to identify potential threats. Signals come from sources like Microsoft Entra ID, Microsoft accounts, and Xbox. Provides insights into suspicious activity in an organization's tenant. Enables quick response to prevent further risk. ID protection risk detections can be linked to a sign-in event, sign-in risk, or an individual user, user risk. Sign-in risk. A sign-in represents the probability that a given authentication request isn't authorized by the identity owner. Examples include a sign-in from an anonymous IP address, atypical travel, 2 sign-ins originating from geographically distant locations, unfamiliar sign-in properties, and more. User risk. A user risk represents the probability that a given identity or account is compromised. Examples include leaked credentials, user-reported suspicious activity, suspicious sending patterns, and more. Identity protection generates risk detections only when correct credentials are used in an authentication request. Incorrect credentials do not trigger detections, as there's no risk of credential compromise. Risk detections can trigger actions like requiring multi-factor authentication, forcing a password reset, or blocking access until an administrator intervenes. Investigate risks. Identity protection tracks risks with reporting and provides 3 key reports for administrators: risk detections, risky sign-ins, and risky users. Risk detections, each detected risk is logged. Risky sign-ins, reported when one or more risk detections occur during a sign-in. Risky users, reported when the user has one or more risky sign-ins, or one or more risk detections are present. For organizations using Microsoft Security Copilot, the risky users report includes a summary of the user's risk level, incident insights, recommendations for rapid mitigation. Event investigation is essential for identifying security strategy weaknesses. Remediate. After investigation, admins take action to remediate risk or unblock users. Automated remediation can be enabled via risk policies, such as risk-based conditional access requiring strong authentication, multi-factor authentication, secure password reset. If completed, the risk is automatically remediated. Without automation, admins must manually review risks using the portal, API, or Microsoft Defender XDR, and take actions to dismiss, confirm safe, or confirm compromise. Export. Identity protection data can be exported for archive, investigation, and correlation. Using Microsoft Graph APIs, organizations can collect data for tools like a SIEM. Data can also be sent to Log Analytics Workspace, Storage Account for archiving, Event Hubs, Other solutions. Topic 5, Microsoft Entra Permissions Management. This topic focuses on managing permissions across multi-cloud environments. It provides visibility into who has access to what, enforces least privilege principles, and helps reduce risk by identifying and removing unused or excessive permissions. Microsoft Entra Permissions Management. Microsoft Entra Permissions Management is a cloud infrastructure entitlement management (CIEM) product that provides comprehensive visibility and control over permissions for any identity and any resource in Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, AWS, and Google Cloud Platform, GCP. This functionality supports the zero trust principle of least privilege access. Permissions management is a key part of a zero trust security strategy, ensuring least privilege access across the entire infrastructure. Key reasons for permissions management in a zero trust strategy. Growing multi-cloud adoption creates visibility and access management complexity. Surge in identities and cloud services increases high-risk permissions, expanding the attack surface. Key reasons for permissions management in a zero trust strategy. IT security teams face pressure to ensure secure and compliant access across the cloud estate. Inconsistent native access models across cloud providers make enforcing least privilege access more complex. Permissions management detects, automatically right-sizes, remediates, and continuously monitors unused and excessive permissions. Key use cases. Permissions management allows customers to address 3 key use cases. Discover, remediate, monitor. Discover. Assess permission risks by comparing granted versus used permissions. Cross-cloud permissions. Granular, normalized metrics for AWS, Azure, and GCP. Permission creep index, PCI. Aggregated metric showing risk from unused/excessive permissions and potential damage. Permission usage analytics. Multi-dimensional view across identities, actions, and resources. Remediate. Customers can right-size permissions based on usage, grant new permissions on demand, and automate just-in-time access for cloud resources. Automated deletion of permissions unused for the past 90 days. Permissions on demand, grant identities permissions on demand for a time-limited period or an as-needed basis. Monitor. Customers can detect anomalous activities with machine learning-powered, ML-powered, alerts and generate detailed forensic reports. Detect anomalous activities with ML-powered alerts. Generate context-rich forensic reports on identities, actions, and resources for fast investigation and remediation. Permissions management deepens zero trust by enforcing least privilege access, allowing customers to get comprehensive visibility. Discover which identity is doing what, where, and when. O. Automated least privilege access, and use analytics to ensure correct permissions at the right time. O. Unify access policies across infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platforms. Implement consistent security policies across your cloud infrastructure. Implementing discover, remediate, and monitor phases establishes a core pillar of a modern zero trust security strategy.